Hello P6, welcome to Tuesday. For today's maths, we are going to warm up by thinking once again about subtraction. So for today, we're going to practice our column subtraction. And as you will remember from last term, sometimes you will be able to do the calculation. Remember, we always start at the top, so we're starting at the units. In this one, we're starting 4, take away 6. If I can't do the calculation because the number on the top isn't big enough for me to be able to take away the number on the bottom, don't forget that we might have to exchange. So 4 take away 6, I can't do, so don't forget, go across to the next number, go and swap the 7, exchange it for a 6, bring over the 1, and then I've now got 14, take away 6 is 8, 6 take away 8, can't do that one either, so cross out the 2, change it to a 1, bring over the other 1, 16 take away 8 is 8, and 1 take away nothing is 1. Now on our home learning page there is a subtraction warm-up challenge for you to have a go at. Make sure you complete at least one out of the 3 sections, and if you choose the harder level you might need to set out the sums by yourself. Today's main activity, we are going back over what we were looking at yesterday, which was fractions of amounts, and we are practicing dividing. And if you remember, what we're doing is we are dividing by the number that's on the bottom of the fraction. So if my fraction says 1/5, then what it tells me I have to do is I have to divide by 5. The number on the bottom of the fraction, the denominator, tells me what I am dividing by. So for example, yesterday we were practicing questions such as, if I had to find 1/2 of 26, well, half of 26 just means I take my 26 and I divide it by the number on the bottom of the fraction. Half of 26, 26 divided by 2, that's going to be 13. Now for today's activity, we're going to practice doing that, and we're going to practice dividing by the denominator with an activity that's called a tri-jigsaw. You today are going to choose one of 3 levels, and for all the levels, the activity is exactly the same idea. The numbers just get a little bit bigger as the levels get harder. For today's activity, you have been given lots of different triangles, okay? And this is called a tri-jigsaw because it's made up of triangles. And in each of your triangles, you have got some questions and you might have answers as well. Now, what you need to do today, P6, is begin by looking at the triangles and see if you can work out the answers to the questions that are there. Sometimes you've got an answer already given, so I've got the answer 14 there on the side. But here's one of the questions. I've got half of 16. What's half of 16 going to be? Well, 16 divided by 2, that's going to be 8. Let's find another question. Let's work this one out. 1/4 of 20. So I'm going to do 20. I'm going to divide it by 4. What's 20 divided by 4? Yep, that one's going to be 5. And before I do anything else, before I cut out any triangles or anything else, the first thing I want to do is work out the answers to all of the different questions that I can see around the side. Then go and cut up the triangles. So cut out each and every triangle. There's one you don't need to cut out. I've put an X through it. Because what you're going to do, P6, once you've worked out the answers and you've cut out the triangles, you're going to take the grid that is there as part of your pack today, and you'll see that on your grid, I have already stuck down one triangle. So for the blue challenge, if you choose the blue level, I've stuck down 1/2 of 46. I've got my answer 23. I've got 1/2 of 28, and I've got my answer 14. Now, what I need to do is try and find, if the answer to that is 23, can I find another triangle which has the number 23 on it as an answer? Can you see a 23 anywhere? Oh, spotted it. There it is. So what I do is I take this triangle, I look at the 23, and the 23s have to match up. So I set this triangle in there, because 1/2 of 46 is 23. There's the matching answer. So I'm going to stick that triangle there. Wonder which triangle I'm going to stick here. Now we're reading upside down. So 1/2 of 28. I've worked out the answer is 14. Can you find the 14 anywhere? Can you see where there's a 14? Yep, spotted it. There's the 14. So I'm going to place that triangle there. So that triangle will end up being stuck down there. And then what I do is I keep going. So if I wanted to know which triangle is going to go into this section, 1/2 of 16, I've worked it out as being 8. So I'm looking for the answer 8 on one of my other triangles. There it is. So if I take that 8, now I need to make sure that it's the 8 that goes next to it. I can't put it in that way round with the 11 or the 20 next to it. So put the 8 in there. If I wanted to know which triangle is going to go here, I'm looking for a sum with the answer 20. I'm looking for a sum with the answer 11, and so on. So what you're trying to do today, P6, with your tri-jigsaw is work out the answers to your questions, first of all, then cut up your triangles, and then once you've cut them up, try to match the questions and the answers, and you're going to end up covering this grid, and there shouldn't be any gaps. Okay, so that's the first part of your main activity for today. Once you've got that completed, I would love you to have a go at today's extension task. Now, for our extension task today, you have been given 10 more questions. In the first part, I have given you 8 questions, all to do with money. And I'm asking which of these you would rather have. Would it be better for you to have 1/5 of £60, or would it be better to have 1/4 of £40? Well, we'll need to do a bit of working out. So there's space underneath each question. So use the space to do your working out. So for example, 1/5 of 60. Well, I'm going to take my £60 and I'm going to divide it by 5, because 1/5 would be written like that, wouldn't it? So 1/5 means divide it by 5. What's 60 divided by 5? Think about your 5 times table. That's going to be 12, so it's going to be £12. So if I was given 1/5 of £60, that would be £12. What's 1/4 of £40? Well, 1/4 looks like that, doesn't it? 1/4. So if I take my £40 and I divide it by 4, what's £40 divided by 4? £10. So which one would I rather have? Would I rather have £12 or would I rather have £10? I would definitely rather have £12. So I put a circle around that one. So in this activity, in questions 1 up to 8, look carefully at the fraction. If it helps, write it out as a fraction rather than in words. Do your dividing, work out what answer you get, and work out which one is worth more, which one is the larger amount. Questions 9 and 10, you've got 2 final puzzles to have a little go at. If you get all of that done, we've got another reasoning challenge today, which is all to do with rounding. And then it's been great to see, P6, so many of you have already logged into the Prodigy site, either over the weekend or yet on Monday. So if you haven't yet done so, why don't you give it a go today? Well done to everybody who has already got started in it. Keep going. Prodigy is a brilliant website and one that you will really enjoy using. And not only is it good fun, but it's great for revision purposes too.